Good morning, everyone. Today our lesson will be about intestinal absorption. This is the last lesson in the first chapter, activity 5. It talks about the route of nutrients. What is the fate of the nutrients that we digested, and we learned how our body digests. So first of all, let's recall what is digestion. Digestion is the breakdown of food, the breakdown of food or the transformation of food into smaller molecules, from large insoluble molecules into small molecules. Why do we need to make them small molecules? Because these small molecules are the ones that can be used by our body. So, first of all, this is our digestive system, and these are the digestive glands that help our digestive system to digest the nutrients. What are the nutrients that we digest? We digest fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So the first step in our digestive system, as we said, is digestion. What happens is carbohydrates transform into sugars, and the proteins, which are the macromolecule, the big molecule, are digested into amino acids, and fats are digested into glycerol and fatty acids. Now, these molecules are small molecules. They are now small nutrients that can be absorbed by our body. Why do we need to make them small? Because our intestine cannot absorb these large molecules. Our intestine works as a sieve, like here. So these large molecules cannot pass to our body. We need to digest them. And here where the small nutrients or small molecules can be transformed into the blood. So, of course, when we want to make digestion, it's not just to stay in our digestive system. We need to transform it into our bloodstream, because the blood will transform this nutrients into our whole body. So the second step in our digestive system is absorption. So today our focus will be on absorption. Where does absorption take place? And the last step in our digestive system is excretion, but we will not focus on it in this lesson. Our focus is on absorption. Where do absorption takes place? So the absorption takes place actually in the small intestine over here. So this small intestine actually, it's very, very long. It's actually 9 meters long, like the size of the bus. Why do we need it to be this long? Because it helps in absorbing more and more nutrients. And not only this length contributes to the absorption, helps with the absorption. There are other factors. So actually the shape of the intestines from the inside also help with the absorption. So it's actually not very smooth circular. As you can see, there are folds over here. Why do we have these folds? So this is the first property that we will learn about the intestine, which is the surface area. What do we mean by surface area? So let's try and imagine anything, a line. So this line, maybe it's 10 centimeter long. But if I broad this line and make it into folds, and also 10 centimeter long, if you can see, it's not 10, it's actually further than 10. If you measure all of this. Now imagine if you fold it into more and more folds, like this. Now this will definitely have much more than 10 centimeters, right? So this is the surface area. There is more area on the surface when we make more folds. So this one has a small surface area, while this one large surface area, while this one even larger surface area. This actually contributes to the absorption, and that's how our intestine is made. So these ridges actually really helps. This is a real photo for the intestine. So as you can see, this is the intestinal wall. And here, these big folds, we call them ridges. And the smaller folds, we call them villi. One of them is called villus. The plural is villi. So all of this actually really contributes to the absorption because it increases the surface area. The intestine alone is 7 to 8 meters long. And we have 900 ridges and 10 million villi. So the surface area estimated is around 200 meter square. So as you can see here, there are blood vessels. Of course, we want our intestines to be enriched with the blood vessels. It should be near blood vessels because we want the nutrients to go directly to the blood. So it is actually enriched with blood vessels. If we take one photo of one villi, like this one, we can see how the blood vessels are in it. These are the small blood vessels, the capillaries, and the yellow one is the lymphatic vessels. So there are actually lymphatic vessels and the blood vessels. So this is another photo for the villus. It contains the blood vessels. The smallest blood vessels we call capillaries. And we have this green one is the lymphatic vessel. Actually, we call it lacteal. Lacteal. So why do we have both of these? Actually, the amino acids and the glucose will travel through the blood capillaries. However, these two are actually the fatty acids and glycerol. These travel through the lymph. So this is another photo from your books. As you can see here, we have the blood vessel, and here we have the lymph. So these are the cells of the intestine. Even the cells themselves, as you can see, they have folds to increase the surface area. So the nutrients, the orange ones are the lipids. You can see that all the lipids, the fatty acids and glycerol, go through the lymphatic vessel. And the others, the other nutrients, which are the amino acids and glucose, will go through the blood. So they will go to the bloodstream. How will they pass to the bloodstream? I want you to imagine that you are in a room full of people. If you are in a room full of people and suddenly we open a door to an empty room, you can directly go to the empty room because it's better, right, for everyone to open space. Similarly here with the nutrients, we have a lot of concentration in the intestine and no concentration in the bloodstream, low concentration. So they will pass from the intestine to the bloodstream because here we have high concentration and they want to get rid of it. And here we have low concentration and we need it. So they simply go there. This process where they simply just go there passively, it is called diffusion. This is diffusion. So diffusion happens at the level of the blood and the lymph, and then the nutrients will pass through the entire body through the blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. And that's how we transform the nutrients into our body cells, their fate. So to sum up, what can we conclude? We learned more about the intestinal wall. So what are the properties of the small intestine? First of all, it has a large surface area, as we said. It has a thin wall. Of course, it will have a thin wall for the diffusion to take place. And it is definitely enriched with the blood vessels. Also, the nutrients are absorbed by blood and lymph through a process called diffusion that allows the nutrients to pass from a high concentration gradient, which is from the small intestine cells, to a low concentration gradient, which is in the blood vessels and the lymphatic vessels. This is our lesson for today. I hope everything was clear for you.